Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found the golden nugget of talk radio right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, and any of your digital devices. We are The Local Show, Tom and Steve from Zoe Advertising. Also on the Zoe Advertising YouTube channel, right?
You got it. So just go to Zoe Advertising on YouTube and look at The Local Show, and you can look and watch Tom. Not only hear Tom, but watch Tom and see how handsome he is.
Sure.
And
it's like pulling the curtain back.
And get to know the guests a little better. And certainly smash and like and all those things, Tom.
Right, yes. Well, because people, in order to make that propagate through the YouTube algorithm, they have to like it, and then they should follow us.
Right.
And subscribe to the Zoe, because we put up other content there, too.
Absolutely.
It's very nice.
And if we say something that they don't like, then they
well, yeah, we can. So we can certainly comment on it. They can leave comments.
Yeah, absolutely. So please do it.
All right. Well, it's our pleasure to talk with John Tumino. He's the co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen. How are you, John?
Tom and Steve, I'm awesome. This location is beautiful. I was just telling you guys off air, but I wanted to make sure the people in the community know that you guys stepped it up a notch here in your facility.
Well, this is, our lease expired on the other place, and we started looking and started building. And the studio you're in here was one room, and then Tom had some ideas. Could we expand it? Can we make it a little more roomy? And we're going to record in here. And
so here we are.
That's beautiful. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, love having you.
And it gives Steve a place to live when his wife kicks him out of the apartment.
There is a nap couch. It's not, you can't see it on the cameras, but there is a nap couch,
and a kitchen, and all that. Yeah. John, are you a Syracuse native? What did you do before In My Father's Kitchen?
Yeah.
Did you grow up here?
Yeah, born and raised here. The running joke in my family is my parents came over to the United States in 1964. My mom was carrying me in pregnancy, and I was born here in Central New York in Syracuse, and been here ever since, never left. Went to public high school, parochial school as a kid, lived in the inner city my whole life. I live on the north side with my wife and own a home there now, and I was a restaurateur before I started In My Father's Kitchen.
Are you full Italian?
Half. My dad's Sicilian, left Sicily after World War II as a young boy, 12, and then landed in Argentina, where he met my mother, so I'm half Spanish and half Sicilian.
You must be a really good cook.
Because
those two cultures are fantastic.
Yeah, and very passionate. I'm trying to control myself and not use my hands as I speak.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, you don't tap the
Just
thing.
Don't smash the table.
But you can certainly put your hands all over the place. I do.
He does.
Absolutely. Hey, what's the primary mission of In My Father's Kitchen?
So In My Father's Kitchen was born because of an experience I had with a homeless individual on the corner, and the mission is direct street outreach. So we're going out to individuals and bringing services to them where they're at in homelessness. So it's using food as an initial vehicle to make first contact with someone. And then it's bringing love and compassion to them with supplies, clothing. Now a medical team comes out. So it's about doing direct outreach to someone who's suffering, and these individuals usually don't go to the hospital or go see a doctor. We're bringing everything to them and then building a relationship and getting them connected to services.
What would you say to someone that might say, yeah, you're just enabling them to do that and to abuse drugs, and what would you say to someone that might feel that way?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I hear that a lot. So I'm a guy who overcame 2 addictions. I have two brothers that overcame their demonic addictions as well. And it was because of people who believed in us and gave us a second chance. So with me, when people tell me that, I said, if it was your family out there, let's make it personal. If it was your son or daughter's dad or mom or someone, would you want someone to be reaching out to them? And the thing is, we're not enabling them. We're giving them the things that they need to survive outside while they're in the middle of addiction or a meltdown of mental health, and building this rapport and a relationship with them. So when they finally get to the point where they're ready to surrender, they're going to turn to us because they trust us, because we've been not judging them. right? So we're meeting them where they're at with a non-judgmental approach until they're ready to say, yeah, I want to change. And I say love never fails. If I want to judge them and shun them, they're not going to turn to us. And I believe that love is the way of doing it.
How can someone do that and feel like they're somebody standing in the corner, we'll work for food. Most of us go, no, you won't. Mm-hmm. You probably have some kind of an addiction. And my heart goes there, but I don't feel comfortable handing them a couple bucks because I feel like that's be the wrong thing to do.
So I always encourage not to give money. So give items, like you could give like things out the window like socks, or if you feel like you want to do something, make a goodie bag with things in it that you could hand them with toiletries and things and ask them if they would like it.
Right.
If they want it, they take it. If not, don't be offended. Most of the panhandlers are out there. Panhandling is of an addiction that's going on, and they're looking for money for their stuff, right? So that's why we encourage not to do that. But that's why we built a program called Higher Ground, where it's an alternative to panhandling. Like right today, as I'm speaking right now, there's 9 people on a work van who aren't panhandling that are working for the day in the middle of all this craziness, right? In their life. Because they could work with me for 5 hours with our crew, but they really can't work a job because they wouldn't be able to maintain it. But we're giving them dignity through work. They get paid at the end of the day. And then through that 5-hour process, we're encouraging them to make decisions to leave addiction or get help with their mental health and things like that.
I have 2 daughters, and my heart really breaks when I see females out there who are homeless. Now, not that guys are anything better or anything like that, but, you really... I get concerned when I see a female out there because I think they're a little bit more vulnerable, right? To
100%.
trafficking and all that stuff.
So women are more vulnerable. Just think of even the hygienic part of it. Like your menstrual period and you're living outside and all that. So there's like a lot of moving parts. But you brought up a good point in regards to a lot of the women that we encounter that are experiencing homelessness cross over to trafficking, right? Because if they're addicted and you're not making money holding a sign, they have a body that they end up selling off to get the money to get the stuff. Or there's a guy pushing them out there, like a pimp, we call it, pushing them out to make money, to sleep on a couch or whatever it may be. And because of that, Leanne and I living on the north side, I live literally 2 miles from this location, right in the middle of the north side, in the heart of where all the prostitution is. So we've seen it in our neighborhood. Like we've experienced women getting picked up, walking up and down the street. And Leanne and I were given a home in my father's kitchen, and we've redeveloped it, and now it's beautiful, and we're ready to house women who are coming out of human trafficking with Judge Davis on trafficking court here in Central New York. A lot of people don't realize there is a human trafficking court here. Women who get picked up on a charge of prostitution could go through human trafficking court. And if they graduate that court process, their charge is vacated after an 8-month process. But we're going to give them an opportunity to live with us now for 1 year. We're going to house 2 women at a time, and we're going to help them come to life again.
Wow, what a hope.
Yeah,
right?
Life House is what it's called. Yeah.
Right, and that could change their whole trajectory, right?
If you commit to 1 year, just think about going underground for 1 year and committing to your successful journey of transformation. What's going to happen in a year? I believe these women are going to be totally turned around.
That's fantastic. We're talking with John Tumino, ladies and gentlemen. He's the co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen. You can see more at inmyfatherskitchen.org. Hey, John, what role does God play in attempting to help the homeless?
Oh, it's huge. For me, I'm a licensed and ordained minister. My wife is as well. We're not out there proselytizing, like walking around with Bibles. We're kind of living our faith, right? I live the Christian experience. I know what happened in my life and how God, when I invited the Lord into my life totally changed. And so we give up people opportunity. They know that's my story. I tell my story. And when we're out there, sometimes guys or gals will ask us to pray for them, to like love on them. And we do that. And I think for me, I bring a little bit of hope. And sometimes it comes through the faith component of there's hope beyond this realm. There's another realm.
Right. I heard you say earlier briefly, surrender. And that's really what you're talking about, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I surrendered to God, right? I gave my life over. And for us, like our van driver, Kevin, on our Higher Ground program is a person who gave his life over and was homeless and gave his life over to the Lord as well. And he's transformed his life. And those are living testimonies and examples that it is possible. And people have experienced that.
Right. Really quickly, because we only have about 10 more seconds, can you tell people how to get involved within My Father's Kitchen? How can they support you?
Yeah, so they could come to our website at myfatherskitchen.org. If they want to financially donate, they could click a donate tab there. If not, we send out a newsletter every month. They could sign up for that as well on our website.
Excellent. Thank you, John Tumino, for all you do and your wife does and your whole team, okay? Thank you much.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Steve.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Joe Scrippa. He's the owner of the Scrippa Group. We'll talk everything real estate next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.